Welcome to my American History Notes, where I talk about my conclusions I've drawn from studying American history. You don't have to agree with my conclusions, just you need to know about these things. And even more, this is just a survey, very surface, skimming the surface, just general stuff that I think a Christian should know about about American history, um, so that they can be conversant in it. And when somebody says something, they're not like, "What the heck?" So let's talk about Millard Fillmore's era briefly today. Millard Fillmore was the 13th president, serving from 1850 to 1853. Formerly a lawyer, he had extensive political experience. Fillmore signed in the law the Compromise of 1850, which admitted California as a free state, established the territories of Utah and New Mexico with payment to Texas of $10 million as Texas claimed those territories, prohibited the slave trade in, but allowed slavery to continue in the District of Columbia, as well as a fugitive slave law that made the federal government responsible for capturing runaway slaves. So when somebody talks about the South was Confederacy, the Civil War was all about states' rights. The South wanted their only right that they were mainly concerned about was the right to own a human being. Um, the South wanted the federal government to come up with a law that required states that did not permit slavery to have to return slaves to them or to let them carry their slaves into those territories and states. So this fugitive slave law is a tremendous grab, just denial of states' rights and the sovereignty of individual states. But people will still claim the South fought for states' rights. Yeah, this right to own a slave. It's just crazy how people think. However, God had said in the Bible in Deuteronomy 23:15, thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant which is escaped from his master unto thee. He shall dwell with thee even among you in that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates, where it liketh him best. Thou shalt not oppress him. So there you go, Mister. With your, don't you can't use the Bible to justify that. The Underground Railroad was in full swing now, and abolitionists became more militant. Mobs attacked federal marshals to free captured runaway slaves. Places like Gettysburg's Dobbin House became stops on the way to Canada to freedom. Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote her famous anti-slavery epic Uncle Tom's Cabin in response to the fugitive slave law. Fillmore truly believed that compromise would keep the country from splitting apart. He spent money on modernizing the White House as well, installing a cast iron cooking stove to replace the cooking over an open hearth fireplace. He had the first bathtub with running water installed and started a library in the Oval Room. The Whigs decided to dump Fillmore in the next election and select General Winfield Scott to run, but made it hard for him by insisting that he run on a platform of upholding the Compromise of 1850 and the Fugitive Slave Act. His loss was the last gasp of the Whig Party. Abigail Fillmore also designated her daughter to take her place in public social events, even though Abigail Fillmore was only 18. Abigail was very influential in her husband's decision making. She died within a few months of his leaving office. So we'll start with Franklin Pierce next time. We're getting close to the Civil War, the seminal event in American history. All right, I'll stop there. You may not agree. You might not agree with anything I say about American history. That's fine, as long as you have an opinion because you've studied it, not because you've read what somebody else's opinion was. Thank you for watching.